Nanna Ann Mary's kitchen was a warm haven against the relentless Irish drizzle. The sound of rain on the windowpane was a comforting rhythm, a gentle accompaniment to the sweet, spicy scents of cinnamon and apples. Standing on a small step stool, her granddaughter Mia carefully sifted flour into a large mixing bowl, a look of serious concentration on her face. "All right, my little baker," Nanna said, her voice a soft, musical lilt. "The flour is measured, the sugar is in." For the most important part of a good scone, the cold butter. She held up a block of golden hard butter, its surface glistening. "We have to be quick and gentle, like we're playing a game of catch with tiny, slippery cubes. This is where the magic happens, you see?" Mia's face was a mask of focus as she watched her Nana's practiced hands. "Why does it have to be cold, Nanna?" she asked. "Ah, that's the secret, darling," Nanna explained, her hands moving with fluid grace. "When the cold butter goes into the hot oven, it melts and creates little pockets of steam. That steam puffs up the scone, making it light and flaky, like a cloud. If the butter is too warm, you get a tough, heavy scone. We want our scones to be like Grandpa's dreams, light and full of air." Mia's small fingers mimicked her Nana's movements, pinching off pieces of butter and dropping them into the bowl. The only sounds were the soft plink of butter and the gentle rain. As they worked, Nanna's eyes drifted to the living room, where her husband was peacefully napping in his favorite green armchair. "Look at your grandpa, Mia," Nanna whispered, a fond smile on her lips. "He's taken a power nap, as he calls it. He says he's recharging for the important work of enjoying his tea and a good book later." Mia looked over her shoulder, her eyes wide with mock awe. "He's a champion napper, Nanna. He doesn't even move. He's like a statue." "Oh, he moves," Nanna said with a laugh. "He just does it in his dreams. He probably thinks he's off on some grand adventure, fighting dragons or finding hidden treasure. He's a dreamer, that man. Always has been." Mia added the sugar to her own bowl, a little cloud of white powder puffing up. "Nanna, does Grandpa have a favorite story from when he was little?" she asked, her mind already spinning with possibilities. Nanna paused, her hands in the dough. "Oh my, where do I begin? He has 100 stories. There's the one about the time he tried to milk a cow with his bare hands and ended up with milk all over his face. Or the one about the time he thought he saw a leprechaun at the end of the rainbow, only to find a very grumpy-looking toad instead." Mia's eyes grew even wider. "Did he really see a leprechaun, Nanna?" Nanna winked. "He'll tell you he did, but I think the toad was his imagination playing tricks on him. But that's the thing about your grandpa. He finds a little bit of magic in everything. He sees the world through a child's eyes, even now. He's never really grown up, you know?" The conversation turned to the recipe as they added the flour, baking powder, and salt. They mixed the dry ingredients, creating a soft, powdery snow. Then came the magical part, cutting in the cold butter. Mia loved the feeling of the flour and butter crumbling between her fingers, imagining she was making a special kind of sand. "Okay, Nanna, I think it looks like coarse crumbs now," she announced, holding up the bowl for her grandmother's. "Inspection? Perfect. Darling, perfect." Nanna praised, her voice full of warmth. "You're a natural now. The wet ingredients, the milk, and the egg." They carefully poured the liquid into a well they had made in the center of the dry ingredients. The mixture transformed, slowly absorbing the liquid until a shaggy, soft dough formed. Nanna gave a gentle warning. "Don't overmix it, Mia. The key is to be gentle. A happy dough makes a happy scone." Mia carefully folded the dough with a wooden spoon, making sure not to be too rough. The smell of the raw dough, a promise of what was to come, was already making her mouth water. She couldn't wait to add the final magical ingredients, the diced apples and the warming spices. "Nana, can we add extra cinnamon?" she asked hopefully. "Grandpa loves cinnamon." "Course we can," Nanna said, a twinkle in her eye. "A little extra love makes everything better." She grabbed the cinnamon shaker and gave it a generous shake over the bowl. The sweet, spicy scent instantly filled the air. A final layer of comfort in the cozy kitchen. Mia carefully folded in the diced apples, their white flesh dotted with brown from the cinnamon. The little chunks of fruit looked like tiny sweet jewels hidden in the dough. "Nana, why does Grandpa say he regrets nothing?" Mia asked, a hint of seriousness in her voice. "Does he really mean it?" Nanna paused, her hands still. She looked at the picture on the coloring page, the man in the armchair, holding his world's okayest father mug, the phrase "I regret nothing" emblazoned beneath him. She sighed softly, a gentle, thoughtful sound. "I think he does, darling," she said. "He's a man who has lived a full life. He's made mistakes, of course, everyone does. But he's also laughed a lot, loved a lot, and been loved a lot. I think he's come to a place in his life where he understands that all of the things he's done, good and bad, have made him who he is, and he's proud of who he is. He's proud of his loud snores and his long naps, and even his okayest father mug. He wears all of it like a badge of honor, because it's a story of his life. And a story of a life with no regrets is a beautiful one indeed." Mia considered this for a moment. She looked at the coloring page, really looking at it for the first time. The man in the chair looked so peaceful, so completely content with himself. It was a kind of peace she had never really thought about before. "So, it's a good thing then?" she asked, her voice small. "It's a wonderful thing," Nanna said, her voice filled with quiet conviction. "It means he's at peace with himself. And that, my little one, is the greatest gift of all." Nanna then instructed Mia to turn the dough out onto the floured countertop. Mia patted it down into a thick, round circle, her concentration absolute. She used a round cutter to cut out the scones, the perfect little circles of dough promising a treat to come. The scones were placed on the baking sheet and the oven timer was set. While they waited, Nanna made a cup of tea for herself and a small cup of warm milk with a drop of honey for Mia. They sat at the kitchen table, a small warm island in the middle of a cool, quiet house. Grandpa's snoring is getting louder, Mia whispered, a conspiratorial look on her face. "He's dreaming about a particularly excellent scone." "I'm sure," Nanna said with a soft laugh. "He's always a little boy in his sleep. He's probably on a secret mission to steal all the biscuits from the biscuit jar, and then eat them all himself so he doesn't have to share." Mia imagined her grandfather in his pajamas, tiptoeing down the hall, a mischievous glint in his eye as he opened the biscuit jar. She giggled at the thought. The timer beeped, a cheerful sound that promised deliciousness. Nanna opened the oven door, and a wave of warm air, rich with the smell of cinnamon and baked apples, washed over them. The scones were a perfect golden brown, their tops slightly cracked, a telltale sign of their flakiness. Nanna carefully moved them to a wire rack to cool. Mia couldn't resist reaching out to touch one. "Ooh, they're so warm," she said, pulling her hand back quickly. "Patience, little one," Nanna said with a knowing smile. "The best things in life are worth waiting for. Besides, we need to let them cool for a minute so we don't burn our tongues. A burnt tongue is a very sad thing." They waited, the delicious scent of the scones filling every corner of the kitchen. Nanna prepared a pot of tea for her husband, his favorite Earl Grey. She got out his world's okayest father mug, giving it a little polish with a clean dish towel. "He loves this mug more than he'll ever admit," she told Mia. "He pretends it's a joke, but I know he treasures it. It's a reminder of how much his children love him, even with all his snores and his bad jokes. It's a promise that even an okayest father is a wonderful father, Mia carefully placed the warm scones on a small plate. She arranged them just so, a little bouquet of baked goodness. She felt a surge of pride. She had made something special for her grandfather. Something that would bring a smile to his face when he woke up from his nap. Finally, Nanna said, "He's waking up now, I think." And indeed, the soft rumble from the living room had stopped. Grandpa stirred, a long, drawn-out sigh escaping his lips. He stretched, and his eyes fluttered open. A slow, gentle smile spread across his face as he took in the scene. His wife, his granddaughter, and the plate of golden brown scones waiting for him. "Well now," he said, his voice a little raspy. "From sleep? What smells so good?" "Just a little something for the world's okayest napper," Nanna said, her eyes full of love. Grandpa's smile widened as he saw the mug and the scones. He took a sip of his tea, his eyes crinkling at the corners. He reached for a scone, a look of pure contentment on his face. Mia watched him, her heart filled with a quiet joy. The rain was still pattering on the window, but inside, the kitchen was full of sunshine, and the scent of freshly baked scones, and the love of a family. And in that moment, she knew that Nanna was right. Grandpa had lived a life with no regrets, and a good nap, a loving family, and a plate of scones were all the proof he needed.